The hype around the X100VI has been insane. It has exceeded all sorts of expectations and pre-order sales records, both from photographers who are entirely new to the Fujifilm X system, and also photographers who may be upgrading an older X100 camera like the V or the F to the X100VI. And that's who I want to direct this video towards. There are plenty of reasons to upgrade to the X100VI from an older X100 series camera, and there's also some reasons not to. Myself, I'll have a little spoiler alert here. I will not be trading in my X100V for the X100VI. I have really enjoyed my time with the new X100 camera. However, the improvements found in here just aren't enough to tear me away from my trusty X100V. So it is a great, very capable camera. Some of the new improvements may just be enough to get you to upgrade to this new X100VI. So let's start with those. Here are 4 reasons to go ahead and upgrade an older X100 camera to the X100VI. And the first one is the increased resolution. The X100V 26 megapixels had a digital teleconverter option that allowed you to simulate a field of view equivalent to both 50 millimeters and 70 millimeters on top of the standard 35 millimeter field of view. Now, when you did that with the smaller sensor, there was a special upscaling and sharpening algorithm to give you a usable file when it cropped in on the sensor. The VI, however, because of that 40 megapixel sensor, it's just a straight crop. There's no need to do any special algorithms to give you a usable photo when you crop in on that sensor. And that's extremely useful, both for in-camera JPEGs and also raw post-processing later on. You can really crop into that image without losing any quality. The second reason is for the new film simulation Reala Ace. I've really come to love Reala Ace. The colors are very lifelike, very neutral. In fact, I think it does a better job of any other film simulation at neutralizing any kind of color casts that you might find in like Provia or Astia, for example. The tonality, however, really gives it a 3-dimensional feeling, and I really love that. So if you're someone who really loves the Fujifilm cameras for the in-camera JPEGs, the pre-processing, as I call it, Reala Ace is another tool that you can use to get to that goal of getting the JPEGs that you like, that are perfect for you, straight out of the camera. Now, just to let you know, Fujifilm has also announced that Reala Ace will be coming to all of the other cameras in the same generation, like the X-T5, XH2, and XS20, sometime in the summer of 2024 in a firmware update. So this is not the only X series camera that will have Reala Ace this year. If you have one of those other older cameras in quotes, it will be getting that film simulation. The third reason you may want to upgrade to this camera is for the built-in image stabilization. I don't know how Fujifilm did it, but they managed to engineer a 6-stop image stabilization system inside a camera that is, for all intents and purposes, the exact same size as the previous model of the X100. It's, I think, 2 millimeters thicker in the body, which is negligible. The spec is 6 stops of stabilization. Obviously, your mileage will vary based on how you hold the camera, but in theory, you can hand hold this camera with a shutter speed down to about 2 seconds and still get a tack sharp image. Don't quote me on that. That's the spec. Still, it's a great ability to be able to hand hold the camera at slower shutter speeds if that's something that you do. Maybe you photograph a lot at night and you don't have any kind of stabilization like a tripod or a fence post available to you. You can hold it by hand and still get those sharp images. The fourth reason you may want to consider an upgrade to this camera is for all of the new focus improvements. It contains all of the features found in the X-T5 and XH2, like improved autofocus algorithms, subject detection, but it also has some settings that aren't found in any other X series cameras right now. And I just did a video on those. You can watch that to see some demonstrations, learn more about those. But they include things like creating your own zone AF area mode dimensions, custom zone sizes for that focus area. You can also hide focus areas that you don't want to see. And you can also hide the manual focus assist overlays, like focus peaking, unless you are actively focusing manually and need that overlay to help you. It's going to be hidden every other time, and I think that's really awesome. Now, what about the reasons to not upgrade to the X100VI from an older X100 camera? Well, the first one is the availability, and that's not up to you. There's nothing that you can do about that. That's not your decision. Unless you put in your pre-order within 30 seconds of pre-orders opening up, you're probably still waiting for your copy, even though it started shipping a month ago. I think that time, that lack of availability is a good thing if you're on the fence about upgrading. Because a lot of us, myself included, that shiny object syndrome, we see something new and we want it without really putting a lot of thought into it. And then we may regret that decision later on. So I think that delay in shipping, that time that you have to wait to get your copy of the X100VI, can really give you some time to reflect and ask yourself, well, what's wrong with my current X100F or X100V? Why do I need this new VI? And so that in itself is a reason that you may not want to upgrade, just having that extra time to think about it. The second reason you may not want to upgrade to this camera is the new custom settings structure. The method of saving custom settings that was first introduced in the XE4 and is now in all Fujifilm cameras. I haven't been shy about expressing why I hate the way that custom settings now operate within Fujifilm cameras, and I'll link to some videos and articles that I wrote about that. But in short, if you're a photographer who loves these cameras because of the in-camera styling options, the ability to pre-process a photo to a style that you love, and if you get the exposure and the composition just right at capture with your own custom film recipes, you don't have to post-process that photo. However, in the new system, it's not just the image styling settings that you're saving, the film recipes, as you may have heard them called. You're also forced to save other things like your shooting setting options, your focus setting options. And so if you were using like a classic Chrome film simulation that you created, a film recipe, and then you switched over to a Acros film recipe that you created because you think it might be a better photo in black and white. Well, when you do that, all of your shooting settings and all of your focus settings are going to change. And so you're going to have to, you may be, well, shoot, I was in the wide AF area mode and now I'm in single point, so I have to go back to wide. And maybe I was using the electronic shutter in one mode and now I'm in the mechanical shutter. Things like that have completely driven me insane to not be able to use the film recipes as I had been using them for years before. So that's just something that you may want to consider. If you do like the ability to be able to save all of your camera settings, not just your image quality settings, then yeah, that may be a reason to upgrade to the X100VI. The third reason you may not want to upgrade was also a reason that you might want to upgrade, and that's the increased resolution. Has 40 megapixels crossed the line? I thought these megapixel wars, as they're called, were over once we got to like the mid 20 megapixel area. If you're not going to be doing a lot of cropping, 40 megapixels, in my opinion, is just overkill, is completely unnecessary, a waste of storage, a waste of processing requirements. And then the final reason that you may not want to upgrade to the X100VI is just the added complexity. Every single generation of camera is going to be adding more and more options, more ways to operate the camera, more functions. And as that happens, unless you can develop that muscle memory and spend some time with the camera to learn all of these new features, it just really adds to the complexity of the camera, which may take away from your creative ability. You may miss some photos because there's some new setting that you haven't mastered yet. And so while I think the X100VI does have some great new settings, some great new features, just be aware that with every generation, more features are being added, and that's making the cameras more and more complex, which may be something that you don't want in a camera. In fact, quite a few of you have written to me over the years asking how to dumb down your camera, how to just make it about aperture and shutter speed. How do I just get back to those basics? So we're straying further away from that with every generation that we have. So I hope those 4 reasons to upgrade and 4 reasons not to upgrade to the X100VI helped you make that decision. If you do plan on upgrading to this new camera, I have a tutorial course specifically for the X100VI based on all of my experience with the other X100 cameras and the VI. You can find that at photocourses.link/X100VI and use the code TUBE20 for 20% off. Please let me know if you have any questions about the X100VI or any other comments, other reasons to upgrade or not upgrade. Leave those in the video comments. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.